Marvel's Inhumans has been down quite the rocky road ever since its premiere. I saw the first 2 episodes in IMAX theatres back in September, and I remember not hating it, but definitely recognising how many bad of the elements truly were. However, I felt the show had potential going forward, but let's just say, it did not even dip its toe in the water of that potential. The story here was one thing I actually quite enjoyed. I like the idea of the royal family being shaken to the core when one of their own goes against them, as he believes the way they are ruling over the city of Adelan is wrong and unethical. I really enjoyed all of the political elements within the show. While there were not many, I took what I could get. Also, Maximus was actually my favourite character in the show. He was the main antagonist, however I found him very likeable. Maximus is probably one of the biggest problems though. Maximus is a problem because his point of view actually makes sense and you actually agree with why he's trying to start a revolution. The royal family are presented as capitalist royalty who sit in their high castle commanding over their people, whereas Maximus actually wants equality. This made it difficult to root for the royal family as you actually thought Maximus was actually in the right. Speaking of the royal family, I didn't like a lot of them at first, but they did grow on me as the series went on. For example, Medusa got better and better each episode, same with Black Bolt. Karnak was also pretty awesome, and Gorgon was very likeable from the start. But Crystal, whoa, she was awful in this. Not only was her writing awful, but her acting was atrocious to say the least. Every time the story cut to her part, I was really bored. Sticking to the subjects of the writing, it is awful. This ranges from the script itself to the screenplay. The dialogue is uninteresting and makes each character seem incredibly wooden. It makes every character interaction feel either unimpactful or unrealistic, and some of the storylines written for some of these characters were truly horrific, such as the Crystal love story. What a drag. The side characters of the show are a bit of a mixed bag. We have a B-Tech Felicity who helps out Medusa, and she was okay, albeit a little cliche. Then we have Dave, Crystal's love interest, who just seemed like he was advertising Hawaii the whole time as a typical surfer dude. But there are a couple of decent ones here too, like Aurora, who was the kind of second to Maximus, she was pretty cool, and Dr. Evan Declan, who, although wasn't given a lot to work with, the actor was actually pretty good. Special shout out to Mortis though, who was the only character in this entire show who had an inch of personality. Now, the action in this show is painfully boring. There is not one action scene that is remotely exciting at all. You can see how they had to edit around the actors doing their own stunts, as they couldn't afford stunt doubles as there are so many cuts in between each punch. This is especially apparent with the character of Karnak, who is supposed to be the most efficient fighter of all the Inhumans, but he is so incapable in the show, it's almost a joke and becomes laughable. Also, we need to discuss the budget of this show. You can see how little money was put into this project. All of the sets looked extremely fake and drab. The CGI was almost always fuzzy, although I will say that Lockjaw looked great pretty much the whole time. But also, they could not even afford costumes for most of the show, as we only see them in the first and last episodes. And you could argue that this was for the story, which is true, but if they had the money, then you could guarantee that we would have seen those costumes a lot more. Overall, Marvel's Inhumans was immensely disappointing. It was an uninteresting, boring slog of a show with little in the way of redeeming qualities. I feel that IMAX really jumped the shark when it came to distributing this, as you can imagine that they are not very happy right now. I feel that if they would have released this all in one go as a binge, then it would have been a lot more manageable and a lot more exciting, as I feel this is a good show to actually binge if you want to watch it. But on the whole, Inhumans probably should have stuck to being a film in Marvel Phase 3. I give Marvel's Inhumans Season 1 a D.